going live.
Preparing. We're live straight away. Let me just that's all right. Right.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
The Simpsons.
Let me just stop this coming into.
Let me just stop this.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's stop this.
So,
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Satisfaction. Like you talked after the after last week, after we were on last week, you came up with the idea of talking about satisfaction.
And then forgot what we were talking about tonight.
Yeah, and I think.
And then asked, "What are we talking about tonight?"
I
don't remember why I brought it up.
Yeah, because you were talking more along the lines of satisfaction. Like, what things satisfy you most? Like big and small things within like your creative field, I guess, was like sort of how you worded it.
I think I threw it into the mix a bit because I was like, I felt really satisfied on that day, but it was a combination of really, like, one of them was just a sort of feeling of stability with money in a way that was like, this right now felt like a really nice, satisfying feeling of walking to the studio with a certain, like, in between, you know, when you get paid for something and you've sorted out all your expenses, and it was like this really, it was a really nice feeling of like security for that bit that was like, this is genuinely satisfying, not caring about wanting to make loads of money, but just like that feeling of like right now it made me think about my artwork in a really clear way of like what it was just really nice to walk to the studio with, and like the bit in between where it's like the pressure's off and you just thinking clearly, as opposed to like going and doing stuff that you get paid for. And it was like that really nice in between commissions, in between work, where you're cool, you know, you realize that you're getting paid for doing what you like and all these things. And it was just like, this is a really nice moment. I've got to remember this, right? Because this is great. This feels really satisfying.
Do you find that because I agree, like those moments of stability when you're self-employed, really great times, like you feel really happy. But how do you find it affects your like your drive and like basically when I've got still waiting for invoices to get paid, or when I'm in a low point financially, it motivates me far more to do more projects.
Well, contentment is the enemy of invention. I love that saying. It's so true. And a lot of the time you almost want it to be taken away again. So you're like, oh shit, I've got to really get stuck down, because you know, we all have a tendency to get a bit off course if there's nothing like that. You do need that like poopy pants side of things, or you know, if you were like brought up really rich, you often wonder how much you would get done. I still think personally I'd do loads, because you'd get bored of just being rich. And I
guess you can when, like, so for example, when you've got lots of money from a job that you've just been paid from a job, you know, so you've got in a financially sort of fairly stable position as a freelancer, it kind of allows you to try some more risky ideas out, I guess, because it doesn't have to be such a dead cert, does it?
No,
it makes you wonder freedom.
Like, do you think if you were really rich, like, you know, so it was never a worry, what roughly
that's
do you
probably
think?
Why all
You
these
could do what you want, wouldn't you? You go proper avant-garde and not have to worry if you didn't have to make any money from it.
Yeah,
it's that balance, isn't it, for people like us of like making a living but trying to get creative freedom as well. And that is what that's the rope, you know, the tightrope that you're always walking, isn't it? Without, you know, trying not to go too far one way or too far the other way.
I suppose that's it. It's like some I'm not going to think of any specific examples, but some like famous artists, once they get like, you know, established, they start releasing some proper shite and like really out there stuff. And you, what who's this targeted at?
Yeah. But does it matter at that point?
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I think you would still care. I think you'd be surprised quite quickly how much feels the same. No matter, like, if you've just got 100% creative freedom, like, it almost doesn't matter again. It's like, I picture the first stage if I was suddenly just pointlessly rich, where it's like you can literally just get up and do whatever you want. Going through a stage of, like, you know, massive canvases, laughably big, and just like running around naked, just throwing like buckets of paint everywhere, you know, going through this drinking in the day, and then just getting like back to how I probably am now, and just being like needing that purpose, and needing that feeling of purpose is never gonna.
So that sort of leads you on to the wider question of satisfaction, doesn't it? Is it like, if you take the money away from it, what is satisfaction in creativity? Like, when do you feel most satisfied?
Progress. I've always feel really sad, and finishing something is an amazing feeling when you fully finish.
I don't know though. With finishing stuff, I always think like there's like, it never quite is what you imagine, if you know what I mean. So it's like you're kind of satisfied, but I think you're actually more satisfied when you're nearing the end and you think it's all coming together perfectly. And then at the end of it, you're like, it's just another one, like something that I did a little while ago. Like, I don't know if I've actually done. Do you know what I mean? It's that, and that's where that drive comes from, to like do something better next time. There's always it's good, but I could do this next time, I reckon, or I could do that. And I feel like satisfaction is quite a difficult thing to achieve, actually.
It's difficult in when you're trying to combine it with like commercially successful work, you know, like your bread and butter jobs. Yeah. Because they, like you're saying there, they do all end up sounding the same roughly, or looking the same, because that's what people are paying for. You know, they're paying for like the stamp of your, like, you know, sound or visual. So I think you end up being less satisfied. You feel less satisfied with those sorts of jobs because you know, you've sort of oversaturated yourself with them, I guess.
Well, if you had all the time in the world, would you struggle to know when to finish the song?
That's
difficult. You always do something more to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I'd started out having all the time in the world, well, maybe, and you know, I probably did when I was a student, but because I've done, you know, finished so many bits of work now, I kind of know how to finish. I know when a song's finished. Like, I'd hardly ever have stuff floating around that's not finished, because I either finish it or bin it off way before it gets to that stage.
Unlike my 500 tunes that I've got that have only got the intro, and maybe the first verse.
I think what's even worse, where you've got like just 4 bars for the verse, 4 bars for the bridge, 4 bars for the chorus, and you just copied and pasted each one, and then you can't do any more. I've got loads of them where it's just bland in the middle bit.
I think actually, Rob, you're not actually that bothered about trying to finish your songs. I think you get more out of the process of the sound design and the recording, and then you go like, the rest of it's mainly fiddling around with the mouse and that.
Yeah, that's it. I kind of like, I've done the bit I'm interested in by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like just the making of it, the initial part.
So like your satisfaction sort of arc probably like tails off.
Yeah.
The further you're getting into that project. I mean, yes.
Jumps off the
dime. Twiddling knobs now.
Yeah.
I think that's
boring.
I wonder what the standard sort of like trajectory of a sort of the line of satisfaction through a project is, because definitely at the start of stuff I do, you know, when you're making the song and you're going, oh yeah, that's got a really good vibe to it, and then it does I do manage to keep it like fairly consistent. I mean, you're not enjoying being exponentially satisfied the whole way through your project.
No,
I think.
Go on.
Well, we're both pretty much the same level of enthusiasm to what we were going to say. So
yeah.
I don't know whether I want to go first. Actually, I don't want to crush yours. I'm going for it.
You go for it, man. Mine's going to be better.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, nice. Really try. I think actually thinking about it, I do like the start bit quite a lot. Actually, when you think you've got something and you sort of, when I know I've got something, I kind of skip or march to the studio, especially on the weekends when I'm going at that time.
A confusing satisfaction with inspiration.
Well, I get satisfied by
being inspired.
by playing out an idea. Like it's when I'm actually when I've got from lying on my bed to to actually I'm doing this, especially on a weekend. This is something that I'm really trying to make a difference with now, is to try and I'm doing something different at the weekend, but it's still to do with art, and that feels great when you're like, I'm in again today when I really don't have to be in, and I'm doing more. That feels great, man.
Do you think you get the satisfaction is more at the start of a project because the sort of gains within the project are greater, aren't they? Like you're going from nothing to That
is a very good point, because at the end you are kind of working with a more rigid thing, aren't you? You're just moving bits around and tidying it up, whereas at the beginning you've got this mass of like whatever you want to do in front of you, and as soon as you start laying things down, each time you lay something else down, it gets removed a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's that when you've done about 80% of it is where that classic 20% left. The somewhere around that 80% is like, God, this last bit. You just kind of need tidying everything up.
Yeah. See, I don't know if people get like scared of or intimidated by by starting a project or a big project. It's not something I've ever really sort of been worried about. I've never sort of gone, the last little bit would concern me more.
Yeah, I think
you got to go on that first instinct, don't you? So.
Yeah, it's like most of the stuff that we do, like you're doing it in the dark anyway. So if it doesn't work out, you can just bin it. It's not like you're doing it in front of an audience to begin with.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So it's like there's no risk there. You can just if it doesn't work, just bin it off.
Someone said on that topic, I think it was probably Peter McKinnon. He was like, "Don't broadcast like what your plans are for a new project. Like, just get on with it." And I always sticks with me, because it's really tempting when you think you've got something new to. Part of it is to say, so I'm going to be doing this thing, and then what's really bad is quite often you don't even do the thing, and it's like, what a loser! What did I just do that for?
A new episode every Friday for 4 years.
did 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck. Exactly. That's So this is my new thing. I know it's not. I'm bored of it. I think. I keep saying to people to try and get them in the mood to start something where they're not quite sure what they want to do, is to just, when in doubt, copy something. Which I wanted to kind of, I don't know how it worked more with you, Andy. It's like, I don't know whether you would want to. It would be like learning a Prodigy song. It would be like learning. To make a Prodigy song or something, what you would learn from it. And to keep trying. The plan, again, I was going to do this, going to copy a master copy, a bit like the Van Gogh behind me. So I've been working on one at the moment called The Great Wave. The wave that's like in the Japanese style. It's quite big. Well, so I've recreated that in the studio and filming it and talking about the process. And I want to do a different master copy every time. Because I had all these half ideas that I was trying to do at the weekend that was different to what I was doing in the week. Something that made me want to go back to the studio at the weekend. And I had all these half ideas that weren't quite enough to get me to go to the studio enough. And then I was looking at the print on the wall of it, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And that extra bit and the instinct to go, that's it, right? That's going to get me to the studio today.
Yeah,
I love that extra little bit.
I love that feeling though. Like I often find you go through phases where you do have these like this idea generation. You've got loads of ideas and they're just not quite there to like get you involved. And then all of a sudden something just changes and you get that extra little dynamic in there. You're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that is it. I can
100%, Rob.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had an idea that I put on my like jacket on and I was planning to go into town to get to buy something for another idea. And as I was leaving, I looked at the painting on the wall and my brain saw that as a slightly better option. And I just decided right then and then that now I'm not going to go into town. And I pulled it off the wall and went to the studio with that. It was like, whatever feels like the strongest thing to do and tick it off, just go and
that's it. I think it was old Stephen King. Like, it doesn't ever have notebooks because he said, you know, your strongest ideas, they're always there in your head anyway. And like, you know, I don't really agree with that, but I know what he means. Like you get these ideas that do just like, they don't leave you alone, if you know what I mean. They're just there all the time, just like churning away.
The funny thing is with that is, once you write, like for me, I always put alarms on that go off with ideas. But once I know that they're going to go off, I remember them because I know that they're going to remind me.
Because you've been through an action, haven't you?
Yeah. Sorry, Andy. I feel like I'm interrupting quite a bit at the moment.
I was saying I don't have a notebook, but I do have got the big whiteboard in the studio, which is just for ideas for albums. But like what you were saying, Rob, for some of them have been on there for ages, and you're going, shall I start that? Don't know.
That's what it's like, though, isn't it?
But some of them, you're like, I need to start that one.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what happens, though. Just suddenly, one of them goes from feeling like it's far down on the list to just out of nowhere. Especially again, it feels like on weekends. Suddenly, it's like, no, I'm gonna do that now. That's the one to do now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an hour before, but then
people who you like see who are prolific in their field, like must go through the same thing of like getting these ideas, and it might seem like they're outputting a lot, but I think it does if you're looking at someone else. It's like if you're looking at someone else, like always feels like a lot because you don't know the like, you know, how long it took you to get to that idea, if you know what I mean. So like I find that sort of process fascinating, really. Like,
well, it's one of the most common content that every person that we seem to follow, that's one of their most common videos across the board is struggling with ideas. But as you say, you sort of, as you follow them, you keep thinking that they can't get them out quick enough.
If we're talking about YouTubers, I tend to stop watching them when they get out Nerf guns or water pistols. You've done all your ideas, haven't you?
One wheel with a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I was thinking
I saw a guy in a one wheel the other day in Bristol, and I just thought he was a YouTuber as soon as I saw him. Like, because who else has them?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I might I like remaking that you were talking about the Prodigy song, like, you know, what you learned from that could be an interesting series on my Twitch channel. Remaking songs, but I don't know where the copyright, because I'd have to listen to the song that I'm trying to remake.
Well, so with the painting that I'm doing at the moment, I have a bit of that worry because, you know, there's a likelihood that it would be something that someone would want to buy off me because, you know, it's not my work. So, and it's like, God, am I even allowed to sort of just sell this copy? But it always ends up as same with the Van Gogh one. It always ends up being my version of it, like, and that's enough for it to be different. And I think if you approach doing doing a cover of a Prodigy song, I think if you sort of approached it like whatever your version might be, or then it becomes something else. It's like your kind of style does, especially this ingrained where you're at this point in life with music.
Yeah, I think you'd have to link to the official video for them to listen to know what you're on about, if you know what I mean. Because I think that's the only time you'd struggle in copyright.
Yeah.
Like, say there's a whip sound that's common on it. Mm-hmm. Like, do your kind of version of trying to create that sound. Like, how would you go about it? Try and create a whip sound out of shit in the house or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's you trying to work out how they did this.
Yeah, I don't know what that sound is. Because I remade that. We talked about this previously, and I maybe made that Fortet song. I can't remember what it's called now. Off the rounds, off rounds. Like the one with the Morris dancers. But anyway, I really enjoyed that process. So it could be quite an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Did you find it satisfying, Andy?
I did actually.
Back onto topic there. Hey?
Very nice, Rob.
Seamless.
Segues.
You were talking before, Dave, about development and progression being like an area of satisfaction.
Yeah.
I learned something today, like a mixing technique, which is really, I think I'm going to really use a lot. And I don't by any means think I know everything about mixing music, and I'm never going to learn anything. So I'm not surprised when I learn new techniques which are like completely new. But that's quite satisfying.
That's always a worry for me. I always feel like I should know absolutely everything, but you realise you don't. You know what you need to do your job.
Yeah.
And that's experience, isn't it? Picking up more things along the way. And I've forgotten more techniques than I remember now, probably because I just you just don't use them. They're great techniques, but if you're not using them every day, you soon forget them because they're irrelevant to your workflow. And it's but you feel like you should know it all, and it's it can be a bit of a confidence shocker.
I wonder how much how far you need to go outside of having really concentrating on the core skills, because there's loads of people teaching loads of different stuff, music making, music production wise, and some of it's pretty out there, and you need some of the new plugins, and you need software and stuff, certain bits of software, and they're good techniques when you use them. You go, that sounds good, but I'm never going to use that.
I was thinking the
specialist.
I was thinking that all the magazines and WH Smith and stuff, and they're coming out every month, and pick up one on Photoshop, and it's a whole magazine talking about things on Photoshop, and you're it's really intimidating for a second. You're these are, I don't know any of this. It'd be the same picking up Premiere Pro magazine. It'd be but at the end of the day, it's a very small percentage of people are using much from it. You're not going to take loads of bits from it, really. Don't know. I find Is it getting any quicker?
It seems to be. I think.
Seems to be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem sometimes with when you think you kind of know it, you know the process too much that you're going to go through to get to the end result. I think you get a bit bored, whether even subconsciously, when you can see what it's going to finish with. It's there's nothing new in it.
Yeah,
it's too efficient.
That's it.
Gotta try and mix it up. You got to almost force it sometimes. And I'm definitely, I'm always thinking in that way at the moment, just trying to break out of something that I do all week.
Yeah,
but that's still in the category of, for me.
I just finished writing an album for publisher, and I used just one VST to do everything for the whole album.
Was that one you recommended to me that time? the thingy one?
Don't think so.
The Valhalla. What the?
Oh no. It's like a synth from Spitfire Audio, who make like synths, obviously.
Is it the new one, Andy?
It's the Heimbach one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it made like a whole sort of dubby techno album, just with one. It was quite an interesting experience because you've got to try and get, drum sounds and all the rest of it.
So you're probably going to use that again then, that technique, if you've...
Yeah, it was good for like focusing your attention, because there's only so much. We're keeping productivity and stuff in mind. There's only so much like variation you can get in the sound, so you have to do, you're doing more interesting things with like your melodies or your arrangement and stuff to make your 12 songs off your album sound like different to each other. It was good for moving my focus away from trying, like, normally when I'm making an album I'm kind of like thinking about the too much about the sound design and like getting
textures.
And getting loads of interesting sounds in there, whereas this time I was kind of forced to think more about probably arrangement and melody and stuff, so it was interesting.
It's like having a 5-piece band or something, where it's like each instrument really has to play their parts. The stronger the better, instead of just adding loads of layers just to make it sound better. I like the three whips and pan them all over.
Pan them all to the left.
Funny old thing.
Do you want to see what's a good satisfaction note that you've had in this last week, Dave? Or we did do 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? We did the last one.
For me, well, Rob's. I know Rob's. When you say finishing things is not that like. The reason that I say that finishing things is really satisfying is just because at the moment it was a good example.
Yeah,
I know that feeling of like, fuck, it's just finished. And I've been trying to finish a painting of Amy Winehouse for like 2 weeks and still haven't finished it. I cannot. It's almost like I'm polishing a turd. But then I did that black and white gorilla one the other day, and I managed to finish it on Friday and post it up on my Instagram, which is all part of it for me.
I take what you mean there. That is satisfying. I understand what you mean.
It felt amazing because it's like finish it quite early in the day. I got my friend to take some photos of me, so he also went, "This is a good one. Use this," and it's like, okay, nice one. All these things, just like, and then you post it and it gets loads of love, and you're like, I really. When it's a painting and you can tell that everyone's liking it, I feel it feels great. There's no denying it. It's like
I do like that painting. Great. It kind of reminds me of like when people do art on slate, just because of the colours. When people etch on slate. But your Amy Winehouse painting, it's quite interesting that I think that you're finding it hard to get it finished how you want, because you've presumably painted it loads of times.
Yeah, the problem is that I've got better, and my paints are much more expensive than I used to paint, and the more color theory I've learned, the more it's kind of like ignorance is bliss in a sense on that painting, where like I was taking it a bit more seriously, and I was like not just throwing my sort of random colors on it. I was thinking, but you wouldn't really have that color there, and it's kind of, the more that I think about it, I can't seem to finish this painting, and it's like starting to get like layers that I really wish weren't on there, and it's starting to sort of give this texture, and it's horrible, man. I haven't had it like this for a long time, where I can't. It's such a small amount. And, even when I think that it's got better, and then I sort of, I was speaking to my brother and Kate the other day on FaceTime, and then, it was like, the same Winehouse, I think it's finished now. And then you get like pretty much silence. Like, and you're like, what is it? It's shit, isn't it? It's like. I need
Bob Dylan.
it's because the other side of it is like, that is good. That's what you live for. Like, I love that reaction. And when it's like really far from that, and you want it finished, and you know,
you need the highs and the lows, I suppose, don't you? That is it. Like, it can't.
It's just when you think you got it worked out, and then that's
it's difficult
a lemon right there.
With physical medium like painting, like I've never really thought about it. You kind of have a bit of a finite like timeline, because like you're saying, you start to build up layers, and then the texture's off, which is one thing to consider. Like there's no you can't just like delete some shit and try again.
Flatten the image as you would in Photoshop. Merge layers.
That's why sometimes quite a lot of digital art is hard to appreciate as in some way. Fucking I'm really saying profound stuff there. Like, I'm not sure how much I mean that. I
understand what you mean, because it doesn't show it doesn't show the journey in the same way that a painting does, like a physical painting.
I don't know if I even believe that. I don't even. I do a lot of digital stuff, and just in that specific area, I suppose. Yeah, it would be great sometimes to have an undo. I don't know. It's it's broke me, this painting, this one painting, because it should have been done ages ago, and you think that you're way past it, and then you just get this random one that just sticks out, and you're like, I can't finish this. I cannot finish this painting.
You should do something in Photoshop without using the undo. See what it looks like at the end. 50,000 layers.
Your computer has run out of processing power.
Doing a digital painting and not using any of the features, like, that'd be gross. I think as well, because there's a bit of a deadline that goes with it, so that starts to add on the pressure, and it's like, oh my god, I really need to finish this.
Is it commission? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And it's just slowed down everything, and then to do that black and white painting where it was just like I knew exactly, I was in so much control as I did it, and it was quite easy, to be honest, in comparison. Like, you don't have to think about the colors, black and white, so it's just like it was quite easy compared to that, when you just go in maybe a green shade here. No, that doesn't work.
Well, I guess it's the same as me just using one VST to make a whole album. I guess it narrowing allows you to focus on other stuff.
It's like filming in black and white. There's something about black and white. Sometimes when you go, I wonder what this would look like in black and white. Most of the time it looks cool as shit, but really, unless you dedicate your style to black and white, it's a bit of a cop out. I mean, when we started out, we used to do black and white. The boys' videos, like, I'd stick this in black and white.
Maybe you should do 9 posts on your Instagram in black and white, so you get a block of black and white. I
have thought about that. Like, I'd quite like to do some more of them and see where it goes. Like this, I've been editing this painting of the Great Wave, and I've got this mindset where I'm like, I'll do one and post it every Friday. Like, it's in my head now, and I've been editing it, and it's like, there's about 50 chops of just parts of the painting. It's not a time lapse. It's just like getting all the best bits of me doing parts of the painting. I'm like, maybe do one a month. And just do a really good one and do one a month instead of trying to do one every fucking Friday or something.
So much of your time, wouldn't it?
I just do one a month, and just do it really well and enjoy it.
That's the problem with the I don't suppose it's like the sort of need to post on Instagram, like, sort of fairly regularly. I mean, there's no actual need. I mean, nothing, your arms aren't going to fall off if you don't, or whatever. But like, it does feel like I'm here now. I need to be sort of like, regular with this.
It's quality over quantity, and like the saying, "You're only as good as your last performance." It's so true with so many things like that. like if you're posting more regularly, but they're not quite there, but you're doing it like every Friday you post, and you start to, and they don't get as many likes or something like that. But then, you know, I'm on a high at the moment because my last painting, it was exactly that reason why you kind of do get a bit addicted to it when you post something. And all these people that haven't liked your work for ages, they start all just popping up, and you're like, it gets hundreds of likes, and you're like, that's amazing. And it's nothing to do, it's quality. It's it's just a good piece, you know.
How's it performing, like with your sort of like, you know, your better performing posts? Is it like up there?
Yeah, it's like one of the, I think it had like 400 likes, and it's, you know, these days on Instagram as well, it's not as easy to get that many. You know your own page, you know what I mean? Like you know it, and with all these algorithms and all these things you hear about, it's still like if you post something that's good. And on my Facebook page, again, it shows how many it's reached, and it's like noticeably higher because it's just something that is just a better thing that I posted. And it feels great, you know. It's like and it's the same the other way around, where you think you sort of post something a bit too early, or you just want to get something out there because you feel like, the classic thing is you feel for a second like people are on the other end of the phones going, why hasn't he posted in ages? Like, I can't get on with my life. It's like,
because Instagram always tells you, like, always gives you an update. Serzo hasn't posted for ages. They've posted again. Go and have a look.
See, your videos, Rob's most recent videos doing probably like the best out of the 4. Four or 5? Can't remember.
4 now, yeah.
Go on, Rob.
You know, from its
2 days.
Some of them have so over the course it's performed the best probably over its first period, doesn't it?
Got 2 days it's been up for. Got 83 views, 10 likes, which, you know, it's not loads in the grand scheme of things, but for my channel so far, that's pretty good. It's actually already outdone the last video I put up.
There you go.
But they're you know, but on top of that, it's putting other views on other videos as well.
Well, the like thing's good, isn't it? Because that's people wanting to show more. I never used to like things, and then until I realized that it helps the algorithms keep you in the mix. So that's good, man.
Over 10% likes and what have you on each one. So it's good, man. It's like it was hard to make that video, like, because weather was so difficult to work in. And I don't know what I thought of it in the end, really. I quite liked some of the shots and that, but I didn't think it was. I don't know. Yeah, it was all right. Right. Like,
I've got a note. I've got a note that I wrote down. It's like to talk with the satisfaction, and like really, does it matter if you're satisfied with your project? It's kind of the more important thing if you're talking in a commercial sense or a creative sense. If it's popular and performs well, does it really matter if you're satisfied with it or not?
That's great. It's amazing, isn't it? It's such a funny point, because I can't help but laugh at that, because sometimes if it performs well, it does make you question like how much contentment you have in your own opinion.
Yeah, maybe people do like
and is it okay to accept that, you know, you enjoy that validation from outside of yourself? It's a gross way of saying it, outside of yourself.
I know what you mean,
my problem would be like if I did something, say I don't know, not on Twitch, but on like if I had a YouTube channel, if I did something gimmicky, like something which is a trend at the moment, just to see how it does, and it performed way better than everything else, I don't think I'd be very satisfied with it.
But it would do, because that's the game, isn't it? I think that's the thing. It's like you've got to, like, you know, often creativity does get muddled up with earning money, and it isn't like you earn money off your creativity because that's what you do, and like there is something in just doing stuff yourself. I think you have to do all that other stuff because, you know, that's all part of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I think to be very happy in what you do have to strike a balance, because otherwise you're a replicator
I suppose the and down a full tumbler of whiskey in one.
But yeah, you got to be. I think you've got to be careful with it, because like creativity is like, I don't know, for me, like it's something quite special that does inhabit its own space, and everything else sort of comes off it, if you know what I mean. It is like, you know, so you don't have to do everything for everyone to like. Right, it's as simple as that, really. And I think sometimes if you go out knowing that, yeah, I'm going to do this, but a lot of people probably won't like it, and that doesn't matter because I'm going to have good fun doing it, I think that's fine as well. I know it gets complicated by money when you've got to pay your bills and all the rest of it, but there's got to be a bit of room for that.
It's a bit of a luxury, isn't it? So when, like when you become as established enough as a creative, whether it be freelance or like, you know, salaried, it is a bit of a luxury being able to do all those projects, like all your little side projects and stuff, which is, you know, where us three are in a fortunate position to be able to do that. It's a hard thing to
only just
kind of justify,
really,
though, isn't it? Yeah.
Like it is, you know, I have to squeeze things in if I do want to do
that's
stuff
a good
that's
point,
more important to me. Do you know what I mean? But I still do it because I have to. You know, it's important to do that sort of stuff. But then, like, are you always there in your mind, like, this might make me, this might be the wild card, this might make me loads of money if I'm lucky. You know, there's always that little seed in there, isn't it? It's like, I'm just going to do it because I want to do it, but it might do.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't go by.
Well, funny the amount of things, that you do thinking this could potentially be the best thing I've ever done. Yeah. This might actually like be it. What's it? But yeah,
because these days, because we've done our various professions for so long, anything that we do as a side project or a little avant-garde thing, you know, ends up being at a professional level. So it's quite easy to think maybe this would be successful.
Very good point. Yeah.
When you're starting out, I think it's quite hard to be objective about quality, particularly of your own stuff, because like I always thought my music could have got somewhere, but also at the same time could hear the difference between it and something else, you know, a track I was listening to. So it's quite. I've always managed to sort of realise that my product's probably not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But some people, I don't know, no one in particular, but some people I can see how some people could struggle making that decision, and they go, "Why am I not famous?" And you listen to their stuff and you go, well, you're gonna have to put a bit more time in.
Yeah. The trend one that you mentioned before is quite interesting. That one of the options of putting stuff out there is kind of basing it on trends, and because a lot of things that I've tried out, I know that they'd probably perform well. Like if someone dies. Famous.
Yeah.
Imagine being straight away like, oh, someone's died, running to the studio, for example, and trying as fast as I can to film a video of me painting them and getting it up there, and doing that over and over again with any kind of trend. I know that would be, if I stuck to that would definitely show, that would get big, but I don't want to do that.
No.
I suppose the real artistry for that, for me, because I'm thinking about doing a few things, like a few reviews and stuff on the kit I use. But it's like trying to make that interesting for you to make, and interesting and different for other people to watch. Because there's no point in, well, there is a point in just doing it because it gets, you know, it turns up in the search engine or whatever, and it's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
But I think if you can then stamp so if you get that person search for that, and then you can put your own stamp on it that sets yourself apart, you've got even more of a chance of standing out. And then they might get onto your other content from there.
It's where you draw the line, though, Rob, isn't it? Where it's like, what you're happy to decide that this is a bit different, because you know they say that a lot of what makes it unique is you're the do all the
Well,
different...
that's it. Yeah.
I think the key to like the reviews, gear reviews and stuff like that is basically you need to be targeting people who are like pretty inexperienced. Because anyone who's of a similar level to like you or me with music stuff, I'm just going to go and probably read the press release and make my own mind up before like going and looking at people on YouTube reviewing stuff.
If your video was up, Rob, of a camera lens or something like that, and I was looking for a camera lens, I would definitely end up on your video. Definitely, because you're trying to watch as many of the same one as you can.
Yeah,
that's it, isn't it? That's it, yeah. If you do something, if you can put in, even if it's something as simple as like some blinding shots, then that guy might go, oh, he's pretty good actually. And he's used that lens. That's the lens I'm going to buy. I'm going to follow him now.
Well, I suppose that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I watched 20 videos at least on people reviewing drum pads, which is basically a piece of rubber and a bit of wood. I mean, there's nothing else going on.
I'd like you to make a video that sums up all of those 20 videos, but in one video.
Well, it would just be, you hit this with sticks, it works. Like,
I love the ones where it's a guy right in the corner of the room and you can see a lot of the floor. And just,
they've always got loafers on as well, haven't they? Like suit, trousers, and loafers.
Yeah, you think I've always thought that over the years, the quality of YouTube and stuff is like really impressive, but still does amaze me when you go, oh, brilliant, that video's got 400,000 views, that review for a hard drive, external hard drive, and you go on it and it's just like someone's shot it on their bed on a piece of A4 paper.
The thing is, if that was a television program and you got 400,000 views, that's probably like a green light. Let's go, let's get it made.
Yeah,
it is a guy. I suppose it's cumulative.
Good response.
Yeah.
What was I going to say then? No, can't remember.
Nice.
What? This isn't the place to be going. So what was I going to say then? It doesn't work like that.
Well, I think I might, seeing as we're not doing homework anymore, but I might give myself some. I might try and do some the remixy type remaking thing on Twitch next week, because I've finished the sort of series of stuff that I was doing.
How did it go down, Andy? How did you see much progression?
Yeah, I probably picked up a couple of followers, or at least like on average a follower per stream. Sometimes you get two, sometimes you don't get any. Picked up some off when I was just talking to someone on LinkedIn the other week. I think probably my key is I think I need to be a bit more active within the community, as in commenting on some other smaller Twitch streamers' videos and stuff.
So hard to do, isn't it?
It is so hard.
I'm committing.
Awesome page.
I really love your style.
I'm committing like 3 hours a day or 3 days a week to streaming, and then I've got to find some more time to go and like watch someone else do exactly the same thing.
That's the bit that gets much, isn't it? Like
fair dues though. That's good. That's good. Good amount of time. As I've said before, like if you're trying to recreate something, you kind of want something that's quite hard to you want something that's quite hard, because when you have the the problems in trying to make a song, or for me trying to make a poem, when you get the problems, that makes for like really good parts of
that's true
a video or anything. It's like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, it's so risky.
And these Twitches have gone up
live
from 3 hours to 6 hours all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's completely drunk by the end of it. Just like
end of the 6 hour session, and you've just got a kick still.
Yeah, it's not in time.
No. It's that time, that mate. Get out of my chat.
Watching it for 6 hours. Fuck, man. Yeah, I love how sometimes we hit that. How far are we in?
50 minutes.
Do you reckon at about 50 minutes we have that? I don't know what these hands are supposed to be representing.
I don't know, mate.
Like where we feel like we need to go back to the word satisfaction.
Yeah. I was about
to satisfaction. Let's go. Yeah.
Satisfying getting those extra people.
It's got a really sleazy vibe to it.
What's your next? Because your videos, Rob, I was surprised that you put. Like it seemed like quite quick turnaround in between.
Yeah, it's still a couple of weeks. I'm trying to get it.
A couple of weeks, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get it faster.
One a month.
Probably.
Well, I want to get it one every week. Really, is what I want to aim for.
Keep saying it.
Just keep saying it.
I want people to come over to my side. one a month.
What's your next one? Have you got the next one planned out?
I have, but I'm not going to tell you because if it doesn't work out, you've got yourself in the 39.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously working on them ones of yours at the minute, so I think they're going to take priority. So whatever it is, it'll be a little bit of a local one that I can just slip out to and get back into. But I feel like doing this Bempton one has sort of led me off on a bit of a I feel like I want a bit more of the old adventure element in it.
Yeah.
In a lot of them, I think that works quite well. I think people like that sort of like.
Maybe you could spend the night or a day or whatever in a tree.
Yeah, well, I've got me. The next one I'm thinking of doing, I'll take my like hammock up and stuff and sort of spend the night out on the moors, and the edge of a forest, and hammock out and get
come over here next winter. Try and find the try and find the mountain hares.
Ages away.
Kinder.
Yeah, I'd be well keen for that, man. Yeah. Wouldn't mind getting them in the summer as well, to be honest. Like,
yeah, not as interesting looking though, are they?
Yeah, I know, but still, no one shoots them, do they?
No, that's true.
So yeah, hammocks in the tree. Yeah, hammocks in the trees.
I was thinking you should like. Are you going to do you could do like a mammal related one? I know. Well, maybe more like. I don't know. Yeah, any mammals on the horizon?
Well, it's not. I mean,
mammals.
It's good. I didn't know what you said so because you first said marmals.
No, I was thinking of yeah.
We got roe deer here, plenty of roe deer. It's seal. I mean, this is like boring for anyone who's not into this sort of shit. But it's seal pupping season in June and July down here, so I'll go down for that. Yeah.
You get that in North Wales on the West Shore, not the West Shore, thingy Bobby, where you fell, Andy.
Oh yeah,
all the seals come up. Angel Bay, all the seals always lie on that beach.
Yeah, but they're just it's a bit like UK is not great for mammals really. Like I find them difficult to find at the best of time. Like deer, you're all right with, but you know, like foxes. I'm just like I need to learn a lot.
Did you see
learn a lot? Well, I don't think overdone's bad. You know, I'm not averse to. I don't. You know, you can't. I think it's quite difficult to do original stuff, like completely original.
True. In
terms of content, I think you can probably put your own spin on it. Yeah. I think that's where
you're the original bit, Rob. You're the original bit.
Yeah. Go to Dave's and film the octopus. You go, look at this I found.
Yeah.
No context talking to our...
Not even going to explain that.
Yeah, neither am I. Yeah, the foxes across the road. Did you see that little video that I posted? And they've got 6 cubs.
Oh yeah.
And they come out at like 6 o'clock, and they're just literally there, just like. And Rich upstairs, he took like some really good footage with his camera, and yeah, it's just amazing, man. It was like. Yeah, wow, that's going on across the road. But the noise that they make at like 4 a.m. is, you know, it's not one, you know,
she come back on.
Is that the one where it stays? Yeah, that graphic when it goes off is gross. It's like the Goldfinger computer game, really overly rendered, like
USB finger.
Yeah, yeah, foxes. Lovely stuff. Like it woke me up. It was that horrendous, you know. And you sort of woke up, and it sounds like someone's strangling a seagull, like really going for it, and it's loud.
Not very satisfying, you might say.
No.
Yeah, and that's not satisfying.
So we all know the difference by the end of this podcast.
You're very good at getting it back on topic. I was going to call you Russ then.
Yeah.
See you later,
Cheers,
Colin.
Dale. Yeah.
See you, Colin. Yeah. Well, I think we've learned a lot about satisfaction.
Yeah.
Haven't you guys?
That's all of my notes, really.
Very good.
We hopefully.
Hi, Rob's mum.
We have had one viewer with for the entire.
I don't think you should bring that up. Well, no, we have had one view.
Yeah.
This is more so that like when we die, people can take little snippets out for our funerals. Here's what he did in his life. I was very satisfied.
Or if one of us gets really famous and someone can go through all our stuff and get the bit where you said something a bit out there.
This would be like if someone. Yeah,
it's all on YouTube.
One of us became a really famous actor, and then this is still on YouTube, and they go, "What's this? What's Dave Sharp doing? Like this fucking podcast with one viewer?"
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we've said anything too ridiculous so far.
No.
I've had 4 views.
8 pints.
4 views while we've been sitting here.
Oh yeah.
Video.
Have you always got them in the background, Rob, like a data?
I like to check them every now and then. I'm still at that stage.
I'm quite bad at that. Yeah. I'm not so bothered with my Instagram because I post on there and it's kind of part of my sort of. I'm not expecting them to like do anything ridiculous because they're like, me explaining how to compress a kick drum. It's not gonna win any major awards.
I'd love to see you post shit like that every day. I would watch it.
Yeah.
I would easily watch anything like that. It's not boring. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
It's short videos. It's what we all can't really accept, can we? It's like, nah, it'd be boring.
That's true. I mean,
I think it's the gain that you get from it. I think it gives other people a lot, but I don't know if you get much from it yourself, if you know what I mean, in terms of a reward, ROI sort of
got to drink
situation.
Half a bottle of whiskey for every clip.
Yeah,
a film.
It's funny, like I felt like I was going through a bit of a stint where I was talking to the camera and trying to. Each video that I was doing, it was kind of like a bit overly, TV sort of style.
Doing that a bit,
and I kept sort of hearing in my head that it's not quite. I don't know, like I had lost something in the polished thing. It's not really what I should be doing. And then, I was out riding the other day, and then I sort of thought in my head, like I could hear how maybe this is how I should be. And I sort of always go back to the studio and set up a camera quickly, put it on tripod and try different approaches. And the other day, I feel like I kind of found my way back to the kind of approach to talking to the camera, which was a lot more playful, but still talking about the same things. That felt quite good. It was like, I think this is more what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Which is just like, and then you realize how corporate you would become. Like, hi, in this video, and it's like,
it's difficult. It's like one of the good things about social media and the streaming and video based platforms is that people get away. People like the human side of stuff.
Yeah.
Loads.
My mate in the village here put on a talk with Bo Miles, who does that YouTube channel, and he was saying that people are getting the trend for viewing is moving away from like super high end polished like commercial content on YouTube, and people are far more follow these like human stories essentially, which is why his channels does so well, I think. But obviously the output, the quality of the output, the editing and stuff is still really high, but it's the sort of
lack of walking towards the camera going like that sort of business.
Alan Partridge.
Well, often you're the only one who cares about the fucking editing and stuff like that. I was watching something the other day, and it was like it was really well edited, and I was appreciating it, but still I wasn't appreciating it that much. and I was still of a smaller group of people who'd even slightly go, the editing's really good in this. The actors are getting all the validation and all the best bits, and to the point where you sort of think that they did all the editing.
Yeah.
If you're
all the credit,
no matter how even if the editing is really good, if you're more interested in that than the actual content, then the content's not strong enough.
Yeah,
really, because even though we are all into that side of things and post production, I'd still, if the content was strong enough, it would still be a secondary thing that I would be looking out for. I'd probably go. I'd notice that it was good, but you'd be more engaged.
I watch loads of shite, and I love it, because it's
where the editing isn't a big.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean much. It's just put it together.
There's got this one, and there's just this guy. He did a Benson Cliffs one. I won't say any names, but he just walks towards the camera, and he's starts off miles away, walking towards the camera for a good minute and a half, and he goes, "Hello, it's you again." It's just I was like, right. Subscribe.
Makes you think, doesn't it? When I see stuff like that, you go, "Are these people taking the piss?" 'Cause it's so brass eye and that kind of stuff. You just assume that anyone who's doing that is taking the piss.
Yeah. The one that I've noticed more and more is where there's a cut where it'll show someone, it'll show someone talking to someone over a bar or something like that, and then it'll show the person they're talking to, and when it comes back to them, more and more the older stuff I watch, they're not in the same position. It's clearly a take from, several takes later, and it's the best take, but they're not in the same position when it comes back to them. That it's they're in some of them are really quite noticeable.
Growing.
They start leaning in one way, and then it comes back. And then they've got no cigarette. Apparently De Niro used to do that. He used to always make sure he had the same amount smoked in this. He used to hold it in different ways and stuff.
Oh, right. Nice.
Yeah. So it was always the same amount.
Some of the editing, I can't remember which season, but some of the editing in Line of Duty, although it's really good, the program, I can't remember if it was, because I've watched it in a really confusing way. So I can't remember if it was for the fifth season or the first season, but it felt like I was watching The Office sometimes.
Yeah,
where they do real the camera zooms in and it's a documentary style, and this is distracting me from the intensity, and the music doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, pretty disappointing ending as well to that.
I haven't seen the last one, but I have heard that it's disappointing.
Yeah, it is. Welcome to
bit
Line of Duty podcast.
A bit like this podcast, then, eh? A bit of a disappointing ending talking about Line of Duty.
Yeah, that's true.
It's horrible when you can feel yourself slipping into it, and you're like, I don't think I can get myself out of this. We are talking about Line of Duty on this creative podcast.
What were we talking about?
We
were talking about the editing.
Yeah. I think I was watching something called Palm Springs that Johnny recommended me. Johnny, you're probably going to be watching this tomorrow. Thanks for the recommendation. Very good. Have you seen it? Palm Springs?
No.
It's the guy out of Brooklyn Nine Banana, whatever it's called, and the girl that I've seen in Black Mirror. It's I don't want to spoil it, but it was very well. It was really nicely edited and just well made. And I was kind of watching it, and I kept thinking, well, no, it's not what you think, Rob, because Johnny was like, you should watch Palm Springs.
Past 95.
Oh, he's such, yeah. I know people like you. I don't watch TV, just watch things off TV.
No, I do watch TV, just nothing before, made after 1995.
There's some pretty good stuff in 96. So you're missing out.
Yeah, joke's on you.
Mate, when I get really debilitating illness, I'll have loads of shit to catch up on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we're old, I mean, we're gonna be spoiled for choice, really.
Probably have implants in my eyes by then and just watch everything.
Yeah, we'll be. Yeah, but yeah, no one will be. No, I'm not even going to say that.
Satisfaction.
Right, we'll leave that there.
Okay, bye.
And we'll talk about something other than satisfaction next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, number one.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about next week.
And who you are.
One viewer the whole time. Hi.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll just be a message through. It'll be, I am your one viewer for sexy time. Ring.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Let's stop